I came to Lagos about 39 years ago. Our parents were not rich. We want to succeed because we know we have nothing.
And I find myself in a very, very, very different environment from where I was coming from. More sophisticated, capital intensive in terms of starting a business.
So we are genuine and sincere and hardworking.
So I started very, very little. I'm wearing one of my labels, and the name of this one is Ewa, I My Wolf.
If you are up, lift your community. If you are higher, lift your local government, lift your state, and lift Nigeria.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Eji mara mbụ onye na-arụ akpụkpọ ụkwụ. Ụdịrị akpụkpọ ụkwụ ọbụla. 1991 ka m mụrụ Chumere.
Amụrụ m ọrụ ebe 99. Allah ma no 1000 pesos a week. Odo ma ya ni mbo nche ngwa akpọ ni na village ma bịa ba. Na asa program ya kujere mi. Asa program 3 years.
So mbataze ba aroze ba roze olushu meka. Enje kwusi elu mgbe ahụ na mfeel were ba. Na oyi were m sugburu adịghị maybe ka m change the line. Others got my expenses. I
don't have interest doing another job except this. Eji leba anya na ịrụ ọrụ a bụ na abịara ndị ahụ na skuul na-apụra gị mba nke aka Chineke mere m amara m na-arụta ya. All these things is not what I went and buy. This is what I produce in my company. Aka ka anyị na-eji arụ ya. Were scissors, were pinches, were hammer.
Mgbe pata na me were ya makizie ya. Ma mkọtị ya mazirizie fold ya color by color. Red aga na red, black aga na black, white aga na white. Mechazie me werezie ya. Tezie ya chemical machizie ya atapara mmacha ya na ihe ọ ga-eme na ya eti ya stamp paketi ya na lailon ya dịzi otu
ana m arụrụ ma ndị army ma ndị navy ma ndị police Nigeria police ma other customers ma company the construction companies. Many people that I used to do their job, I have never seen them face to face. They don't know me, I don't know them. When they see people wearing something, they ask, where do you get this in? They give them direction of me. Now, so quantity. Send the account number. Now we bargain the time. Oh God, the only child send the some now. They have a book. Joa, Olebu no Zoya. Have on my phone.
Then she Ghana na Bacheba. From she Lagos, so she Cotonou, Togo, Malabo. And then she Cameroon, and then she Patakot, and the Onucha. Ebenine, Calabar.
Jos, Blood to Kaduna, and other places has been out here. And then as well, Monday to Saturday.
Ogogi State in Nigeria, Nanaga supplier, Nanaga around.
I'm like 5 people or 6. Obu hard level.
Oh, I got na 2 years. So you get you my issue was in organ 3 years. Already gone or too small.
Here, my hand on now is 7. Nika Chineke, Akuzurelem, here 31 people. Last one, very free last year. Ụfọdụ n'ime ha nọzikwa n'ime anyị, ụfọdụ n'ime ha apụọla chọkwa ihe ọzọ na ọrụ a na ọ na-egbu ha oge. Akwụkwọ anyị adị
ọwụkwa ihe niile ka mmadụ ga-arụ
ọwụghị ofu ụzọ ọrụ ka anyị na-arụ
o nwere ndị na-arụ sandals
anyị nwere nke a na-akpọ palms slippers
o nwere ndị mụrụ ọrụ
so in boot bụkwa the highest job n'ọrụ akpụkpọ ụkwụ. On the take a time.
I know sales book. I have expenses book. So all I know one account I'm more not. Then I lazy and I'm one else from my sales book. No, all we're going to get up you get in a bank. For we left the finance raw material. Now,
Nga na ga vocha ihe niile dị na ọrụ. M ga-eju wayo na-ede ndị ede chazie ya. Ma bịa mara ego ole solu uri, ego ole roba uri, ma chemical, ma job. Then echaje na bịa ewere ya, to mara ego ole m ga-erofu ya, ego ole m ga-enweta na ya. Ma ewere ego enem ti na bank, uri shi na ego m ji na business.
Ọrụ anyị a awụghị ọrụ ofu onye. Onye idiri ọtụtụ aka ọwụ division of labor. Mfixie na nye ha nwa. How we tinye landing, what is called landing. Enyezi onye ga-akụkụ ya, enyezi onye ga-aga highlight before onye na-aga tell ya bịaziekwa to my own office ifix ya final.
Anu ma be ma but otu na mma chiche ya ma make clean ya hand ya as far as ndị ahịa niile na-abịa Aba international market ha bịa kwa ebe ha ga na-azụ ya.
My complimentary card I wrote to my village. Kamara ga hari na-eme business ketụwa m ụjọ. Ị ghọtara na ebe m na-eme business na ebe m so that mgbe ọsọ ebe a aga m agba ọsọ na nga amụrụ m ihe m chọrọ ime ka business ma grow pụọ na this level. Bụkwa ihe na-akwakwa ụmụ m. I register my company in case can I start here where I stop. My parents erugu to this level, but I was opportune to say at least my son I stand there now. Even if you child school, you stand on that registration of your father. Building yourself shoemaker.
I go tired of getting there now. They go now so much. They will go graduate already now, and the other ones cannot at school.
Nwunye m azụrụ ya na nọọsụ mepere ya famasi otu aka ọrụ anọ na werele m ya ọrụ ụlọ mana village mana beba
mụnwa mụrụ ụmụ anọ aga m eme ha ala ka ha na-abịa na-amụ ya ozi ha ga-decide ma ha ga-continue na ya ma ọ na ha ga-continue. Ọ ga-amasị m ka one of them carry it where I stop so that it will not die. I know in time, if I continue be honest in my business, continue doing what people demanded, God will bless me. I eat food. That is what keeps me. I know that what is not today can be tomorrow. I get it.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Life is about steps. You know that cycle? We all do. From the first steps to the building steps to the defining steps. But what about the steps within the steps? Steps that lead to purpose. The baby steps to growth. The steps that ensure financial independence. The steps that give us assurance. All the steps within the steps are possible with the UBA Kiddies, Teens, and Next Gen account.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Yes, I just finished primary school. I came to Lagos about 39 years ago on the 17th of March 1980. And I came serving my senior brother. My brother master settled him. He came to Lagos, just got a shop. I joined him. So we were building business together. We are eager to make it. Our parents, we are not rich to want to succeed because we know we have nothing. So we are genuine and sincere and hardworking, and we save money. We live in a small house. We run small expenses. I was the one controlling the money then. So I wasn't interested in living a flamboyant life. After spending about 5 years with him, the Igbo tradition, he settled me, and I started from there. So precisely I started my own business in 1984. Before it was, I sell, I put in my drawer, I count whatever I have, buy, replace, like that. But when I got to a stage, my accountant here, Mr. Sunday, is a chartered accountant. So I started employing good hands, like in the hotel. You cannot run a hotel without an accountant, without a formal structure. But trading is like, if it is one outlet, you can do it yourself. Take your money, put in your pocket. At the end of the day, no stealing. You can count your money. But when you start employing more hands, having branches, you must set up a structure that this is a process. All money must go to bank. Whatever expenses will come out from a different source, stock in, stock out, and with the advent of computers, you can monitor whatever you feed to a particular branch and whatever returns. Trading has its own nature. You must be very committed to it. It doesn't allow you to do any other thing. So you must be there 24 hours. If just that Sunday is a Sunday, some of us are willing to still go to work on Sundays. So it's a business that will take all your time. For a business to grow, you must deprive yourself of certain comfort on Monday, which probably you will gain on Sunday. But for an average person, you want to enjoy it on Monday. And while enjoying it, you are spending the money, you are spending the time that you would have used to make more money. I started diversifying when I found out that the market is becoming so saturated, and I started having diminishing returns. That was when I started looking at and seeing what else can I do. And I said, let me go into services. Let me try this, let me try that. But all in all, none of them is better. If I have my way, the trading, because I'm grounded in it, is still the best. What led me into branding my own is the evolution of business world in Nigeria. I started traveling to Hong Kong in 1985. Then I was importing finished goods, but got to a point, I found out that most of these things were being supplied from China. And I decided to, on my own and with some colleagues, that we should try. And we went to China and we visited some factories and found out that most of the things that are being supplied to Nigeria actually were being manufactured in China. And from there we started bringing in, and at a point we decided to register our own brand name. What makes Newcastle different is that I believe in quality, and whatever I do, I transfer it into that. I don't care about $5, $10 discount so that you can reduce one thing. I come out with very good quality product. So for those who have used it can testify to that. What life has taught me as a person is whatever you are doing, do it well, be ready, be steadfast, be upright, and have faith on it. It will take you to wherever you want to go. It's just a question of time. Business is risk. So you must take that risk, continue to take the risk. You can have an opportunity to do things, it will not work. And that does not mean you will not try it again. Don't jump into a river with your two legs. You must put one leg and size the depth before you put the other one. For you to remain in the business, consistency has to be there. You must be there to know what your neighbor is doing. Because if you don't know what the other person is doing, probably you won't correct yourself, your mistakes, or you won't know and change. You must be ready to change. And most of my colleagues lost almost all their capitals. The economic recession is a very terrible thing that has ever happened to Nigeria. But because of our nature, we started with nothing. So whatever we have, we'll start from there. It was an experience. I pray that it will never repeat itself in Nigeria again. In this generation, in this life, I can say I won't work for somebody anymore unless government works. So I can, yes, progress. I can see myself doing another thing, but I cannot work for somebody no matter how much you want to pay me, because I've already tested the life of an independent man. I can wake up now and say I'm going to New York. So that alone is a privilege. I have a bigger challenge is that can give me the opportunity to serve Nigeria at large. Why not? I will do. When I wake up every day, I know where I was coming from, and I know where I am today. So if I look at my back, I feel very proud that I've been able to do one or two things for myself. When I look at the society at large, with kind of crimes in the society, with kind of evil things, and I still find myself, I can pick any call, I can go anywhere without hiding myself. That is the greatest joy that I have in my life. Second is the people that have touched their life, the things I've done in my village, scholarship, school I built, and things like that. The hope of every businessman to have one of your own to take over from you, but I've exposed them so much. They school abroad, they spend most of their time abroad. Bringing them here is a difficult thing, but I try to lobby them, try to talk them into it, because that is the only way the business can be sustained. The way I mentor the next generation, apart from the boys, my personal people that have given life, giving them assistance to start up business or train them in a little way I think I can, I try to live by example. Like if you go to Alaba Market, for example, and you ask James Okodele, my word is my word. Whatever you do, lift your family high from wherever they are to another world. If you are up, lift your community. If you are higher, lift your local government, lift your state, and lift Nigeria.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Decided to come to Lagos. So on getting there, I was actually looking for a shop. When they told me what the price is, it was so scary at that time. The price they actually gave to me for those small chances, you can get a very big shop in Ibadan. So I knew there and then that I cannot afford to get a shop. But that's where I could start. So I started very, very little. In fact, the place where I started is not like a lock-up shop. It's an open place whereby you display, you bring your wares out in the morning, and you have to pack it in at night. After I gathered all the payments, I was left with very, very little money. I started with 15 bundles of Ankara, like 3 of this. 1, 2, 3. Very low. Right from onset, I knew I'm going to be an entrepreneur. As a child, you should be able to know what are the things that pique your interest. So I readily have passion for the business because at a stage, I was even helping my mom to buy and to take some strategic decisions, even while in school. So I discovered myself quite early that this is what I'm going to do. My mom actually made it very, very well in the business. She started in Ibadan, Gbagi Market. Gbagi Market is like a Balogun market here. So all along, while in school, travel for her, get her wares and all of that from Kano, Republic of Benin, and sometimes we come to this Lagos to stock up the shop. And I find myself in a very, very, very different environment from where I was coming from. More sophisticated, capital intensive in terms of starting a business. So that was 94. I started selling in offices, instrumental payments. So that's the way I started. At some point, the customer base became so wide and getting my money out of instrumental payment became so difficult. I knew at that point I needed to get a shop. All over Africa, they usually come to Lagos. And I discovered that even people from Ibadan, from Ondo State, all parts of Nigeria, it's like Balogun Market is the center for all African prints. This business is quite capital intensive. Over the years in the past, all the profit that I get in, I turn it back into the business. Yes, I'm fashion conscious, but I'm not extravagant because I knew where I was going. So I closed my eyes to so many things. I was able to prospect and know that this business requires a lot of capital. When we initially started, a lot of encouragement. Sales were there. Nigeria was so good. People were buying and you are encouraged. You brought in your wares, you sell off, you got your profits, and you are able to restock. I was turning the money back into the business. I just invest in building myself up with the capital because I have a place that I'm going, that I'm going to make a statement in this market. And I know it's going to cost a lot. It was not the money alone, but the passion for the business that kept me going. Because I'm really interested in what I'm doing, whether it's bringing money or not. But I was happy with what I was doing. I have 7 labels now. At some point, when I started, I discovered that most people that we were buying from have become a resource person to them. They were actually working on our ideas. At some point, they were actually buying from Ghana, buying from Republic of Benin. So going there, I just look at myself that I deal with my customers directly. They tell me what they want. We know the colors. We know the kind of ideas of what they wanted. So we carry those ideas to the factories and all of that. We tell them this is what we want. And when we get to the factory, then we can do some modification and all of that. I design myself. In fact, my entire family, we are all designers, including my little children. You know, Nigerians were so sensitive to change. When the first label came in, people were just looking at the label like, what is this? Where is this coming from? You know, they basically ignore the label. Then, you know, you have such high spirits that what you are producing hits the market and off you go. I was disappointed. But whatever anybody is doing, what will keep you going, even when money is not coming, is your passion. And seeing the first label with my name, I was so happy. I was not discouraged totally that I'm not going to forge ahead. So I just look at what could I do. Because at that point, we have already packed every other labels out of the shop. So we want to deal with our own sole label alone at that point. So I had to change my mind. So we now reintroduce those old labels that we were selling alongside with the new label at that point. So when they buy 2 of my label, they might buy 20 of other labels. That was my major challenge because I had to keep all that I have. Taking that giant step cost me all the capital that was on me. And you know what it means when you bring in something and people are not buying. And I don't have any other business. That's the only business that I have. Thank God my husband was able to feed me out at that time. When the dollar came down, it brought the capital down to like 50% of what you were working with. It was so challenging. A lot of business entrepreneurs in this market fizzled out at that point. I had some savings as a businesswoman. I have an account that I don't want to use the money for business. So then when the dollar crashed, I had to go into every account and pump the money back into the business again. Definitely we have to increase price. Although the price increase, we're not able to match it with the rate at which the dollar crashed. So that it won't scare our customer away. We still want to keep our customer going. We don't want to kind of price ourselves out of the market because there are lots of cheaper alternatives, but we won't have same quality. And we don't want to water down our quality. We still want to maintain the quality. But to God be the glory, we weather it and we are out of it. When I see people wearing my label, it gives me a kind of joy beyond the money that is being paid for it. I have so many customers that have a kind of allegiance to us. And I want to go to any length for such customers. When they come, whatever they want, I want to make sure that I satisfy them. The future of Ankara has now become global. We see a lot of people that come in to buy. Fashion has exposed Ankara to a level that I don't think there's anybody that will not be able to wear Ankara. It is what you make out of the Ankara that will now determines your class. I see Ankara as becoming a global wear for every part of the world. I've never been to a place where I won't see anybody wearing Ankara. I'm wearing one of my labels, and the name of this one is Ewa I My Rules. As the fashion keep dictating pace, we also fall in it so that we don't become stale. So we are rebranding, we're bringing new labels so that we will fit in to the fashion of Africans. I see the future, I see Milestone coming out very, very great because we have put down a kind of structure that will outlive me as a person. That was why we started branching out distributors. We want to have distributors all over Nigeria because we want other people to benefit from what we have built so far. And I see Milestone becoming an household name. That is the journey of my life. When they mention my wood in America, in Africa, it should be a name that will ring bell. That is what I'm actually working at.
Say good evening, depending on which part of the world you're joining us from, and a special recognition to our online viewers. Welcome to Africa's Global Bank, UBA. A round of applause for UBA. All right, so turn to your neighbor and ask your neighbor, do you know why we're here? Say it again. And say it again. Do you know why we're here? Okay, tell the person why. And then I'm going to ask somebody to tell me whether the person got it or not. Are we here for popcorn? Are we here for an award ceremony? What are we here for? So you're welcome to this very interesting event, the UBA Business Series, and today we're going to be talking about personal finance, wealth management in today's economy. The economy is a very special economy, and UBA is very particular about the fast-moving consumer goods distributors and other business sectors. And today we have a very special panel, and I'm going to be a bit biased small because my boss is here. Even though he's making me a bit uncomfortable. You are going to see him pretty soon. You know this man, when you see him on TV, you will hear something like, it starts with a bell. How many of you know that man? Okay. So he's here. So I'm thrilled to see so many familiar faces in the crowd and equally excited to welcome those who are joining us for the first time. So it's an honor to welcome some of our special guests. We have our very own Anat Rao. He's sitting right here in front. Wave to the crowd. I hope our online viewers saw you, so you can turn around so that our online viewers will see you. We have Osilama Idokogi. He's also here. I have my boss, Alero. She's here. Group Head Marketing and Corporate Communications. And then we have Ugo, Head Value Chain Banking. We have our wonderful panelists. They are all seated, ready to go. So, without much ado, I'm going to welcome somebody. I've already introduced him, but I'm going to introduce him again. So I want to do it properly. Somebody say properly. Because my appraisal is at stake. So I'll do it properly. Head Transactional Banking, UBA, Osilama Idokogi, for his opening remarks. Put your hands together for him. Thank you.
Our esteemed customers, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, good afternoon and welcome to this episode of our UBA Business Series. I'll start by letting you know, if you are not already aware, at UBA, we put our customers first. We have a customer-first philosophy. And that is what we're intently focused on as an organization. Because we realize that working with you as our customers, when you grow your business, we grow as well. This is cardinal to everything that we do. So this is one of those things that we feel adds value to you as customers, help you to grow by providing you the knowledge and insights into what is going on today. So we are proud to present this to you, to both our customers that are here present and those online as well. So our philosophy seeks, first and foremost, to make sure that our customers have fantastic experience whenever they interact with UBA as an organization, anywhere, online and in our branches. That's what the philosophy says. But in doing that as well, we know that we need to provide you with the know-how and the knowledge to take advantage of the large amount of things that we provide as an organization, both locally and globally as well. So that's why we are here. We have a team of experts that will go through personal finance and wealth management so that it will help you as you deal with the day-to-day complexities of the world we find ourselves in today. This is one of many series that we will have. We're starting here, but we plan to take this across the country, physically and then virtually as well. So as we do this, we'll invite you to join us and take the benefits from it. And as well, help to broadcast this, because we feel that as we share knowledge, we both enlighten the community and expand the opportunities that exist. What will happen is that everybody wins, both you as the customer and eventually UBA as a bank. So today's forum promises to be a dynamic and enriching experience, so I expect that you pay rapt attention. I'm sure the moderator will decide how he will take the questions and how that will work, but we plan for it to be interactive as much as possible. This forum is a testament to our collective commitment to simplify the world of finance and enable people to take sound financial decisions. So we're not going to focus on theory. We're going to equip you with practical knowledge of how to work in today's business environment. That's our aim. But I'm not going to stay long here because the experts need to come on stage and provide that. But before I leave you with our experts, I want to first and foremost, as I open this session, thank you for doing business with UBA. We are happy that you bank with us, and we implore you to spread the message out to those that are missing out, so that they join us and enjoy a world of fantastic banking opportunities with UBA. We are here to support your growth, We thank you for joining us, and then welcome to this interactive session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful remark. So everyone, we'll go on a short commercial break. And while we're on the short commercial break, just make sure you get to know the name of the person sitting next to you, because we're going to do a quiz. Somewhere in the course of the event, I'm going to call on somebody and say, who is sitting next to you? Because this event, beyond the conversations, is also about connectivity, about networking and all. So for the guys, if it's a lady, just turn to the ladies, what's up? So we'll go on a short commercial break right now, and then we'll be right back shortly.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Excellence doesn't happen overnight. We have over 70 years of banking expertise and experience across Africa and the world. Add 21st century innovation, and now there is no limit. At the United Bank for Africa, we are committed to delivering the best for you. We create financial solutions that power your dreams to ensure that your needs, however small, or however great, are always met. We have deep roots in Africa. Across our continent, we drive financial inclusion, trade, and entrepreneurship, helping all our clients realize their ambitions. We operate in the United Kingdom and in France. We are the only African bank with a national banking license in the USA. In leading financial centers, we provide services and solutions to banks, corporates, sovereigns, and development organizations. We understand the importance of the Gulf as a hub for global trade, and we are expanding our business there.
Hey Leo, split the bill into 4 please.
UBA is a digital pioneer built on our cutting-edge technological infrastructure that guarantees not just to take Africa's talents and perspective to the world, but to bring the entire world back home. Because the one thing you can trust is we will always be there for you. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Thank you very much, and thanks for staying, thanks for your patience, and thanks for watching the commercials. We're about to kickstart the conversations, but before we call on the moderator, we'll set some ground rules. We'd like for you to make best use of this opportunity to listen, take down questions, and ask your questions. After that, ask the questions and be sure to have answers to your questions. So tell somebody you better be listening. So you better be listening. Online viewers, please listen. Don't go off your sets. Stay tuned. Without much ado, let's welcome the very beautiful Sharon Ochuno as she moderates this wonderful session. You'll need the mic. Yeah. So this is Sharon. As beautiful as she is, she's going to make the conversations beautiful. So Sharon, what are we up to this afternoon?
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Omede, for that introduction. Like you had said, my name is Sharon Ochuno, and this is an opportunity to welcome you once again to the second edition of UBA's Business Series titled Personal Finance, Wealth Management in Today's Economy. Before
you start, I leave in the safe hands of Sharon. Thank you. I'm off.
Thank you, Omede. Okay. Before we start the conversations, I would like to ask a question. Given the topic of today's discussion, how many of us have used Kolo before? Kolo? Piggyback. Okay, that's a very good number. So, since you have used Kolo before to save, it means that to an extent you have an idea on what the conversation of today is going to be about. So what I would like you to do is to take a seat, relax, including our online participants, pay attention to the conversations, jot down your questions, and we'll kickstart the conversation. Before I forget, we have exciting gifts for our online participants, so please stay tuned up to the end of the session. Without further ado, we will now call on the panelists, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Would like to invite the panelists. First is Boason Omofaye. Boason Omofaye is Nigeria's foremost business and financial markets broadcast journalist, producer and show anchor with 33 years experience, spanning newspapers, magazines, and about a dozen radio and television channels, including Bloomberg TV Africa, Channels Television, and presently at Arise News Channel. Boason has had extensive coverage experience of niche global and African business news events in the US, the UK, the Middle East, Asia, and on the continent, especially since 1998, when he created his first Africa-focused business weekly show on Minaj Broadcast International, MBI. Over the past decades, he has stayed focused on frontier Africa reporting and interviewing top business leaders, policymakers, investment experts, traders, research analysts, and others. Boason is also a speaker and moderator on wide-ranging economic and business issues at top local and international gatherings, such as the first United Nations Sustainable Energy Summit of Sustainable Energy for All in 2014 in New York, United States of America, the annual meetings of Afreximbank, Africa Energy Forum, Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Deloitte Annual Economic Outlook, LCCI Presidential Economic Dialogue, MTN Nigeria IPO Investors Forum, the Nigerian Exchange Limited, amongst others. Expanding his horizons, Boason has had official working visits to the New York Stock Exchange and the Chicago Board Options Exchange, while covering Pan-African investment and securities roadshows to show major U.S. cities, the UK, and Africa. Boason's foray into broadcast media began when, in April 1994, he pioneered daily financial markets news reporting, creating niche content on radio and TV, starting with NTA Channel 10, Stock Market This Week, which fetched him some awards like the Pearl Award Capital Market Journalist of the Year 2007 and 2019, as well as the NIPR Award in 2020. He also has advisory experiences in strategies for economic management, governance, amongst others, serving as a senior consultant Africa at New Media Markets and Intelligence, UK. He was the media consultant to the Nigeria Eurobond Global Offering of September 2021 through through the Debt Management Office and the Ministry of Finance. In March 2020, Boason and Omofaye established Frontier Africa Reports, a Pan-African financial markets, business, and economic audio-video streaming platform for global audience. Ladies and gentlemen, please a warm welcome for Mr. Boason and Omofaye. Next to be joining us on stage is Odiri Oginni. Odiri Oginni is the MD CEO at United Capital Asset Management Limited. She has over 12 years of relevant experience in the financial services sector in the areas of audit and compliance, portfolio management and financial analysis and reporting enhancements, tax and regulatory management, strategy and investor relations, treasury and cash flow management, business process automation, capital raising, equity and debt, budget preparation and analysis, corporate rating management, and finance team training and development. Her past roles include Group Chief Finance Officer, Head, FinCon, and Head Financial Planning, Strategy and Investor Relations at United Capital PLC. Odiri was also the CFO at UBA Capital Limited, Portfolio Analyst at BGL PLC, and Audit Senior at Akintoye Williamson Deloitte, now Deloitte & Touche. Throughout her career, she has successfully led business strategy and corporate performance initiatives, delivering exceptional results. She is a first-class graduate of accounting from Babcock University, an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, and a CFA charter holder. She is also an official member of the Forbes Financial Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Odiri Oginni. Last but definitely not the least, we have Akintoye Balogun. Akintoye Balogun is the founder and CEO of Mother Networks, a financial technology company where he coordinates global trades, compliance, deals, and strategic partnerships. Akintoye began his career with US-based Cisco, working on the digital transformation of the banking sector. As an enterprise account manager, he successfully closed over $20 million in sales over 4 years. In 2020, he went on to head business development at PAVE, an investment holding company with operations in Lagos and Accra. As head of business development, he notably worked on the PAVE-Binance joint venture to develop fiat and on- and off-ramp partnerships and grow the Binance business in West Africa. He also spent time at Humans Nigeria as a general manager for the region, where he secured marketing deals with global brands such as Nestle and Google. Akintoye has a tangible passion for music, performing under the moniker Ajabata 22. Since 2014, he has released numerous projects, including 3 #1 albums. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Akintoye Balogun.
Thank you very much, Susan. And thank you so much once again to my panelists for finding time to be part of this conversation. So like we said, the topic of this discussion is personal finance, wealth management. So I would like to hear your opinion, starting with Odiri. What is your opinion on building personal wealth? There's a mic there.
All right, thank you for that question. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really excited about this topic because it's more like a second passion to me. When we talk about building personal wealth, you know, most times we look at the concept of savings and investing as something that is basic, you know, and how does that get us to a point where you live your life without thinking about your salary? So building personal wealth basically means that you're looking at investing for the future and ensuring that your future is protected. So you want to get to a point in your life where you don't have to think about money, and I'm sure many of us will want to, you know, achieve that in our lifetime. You get to a point where you are self-independent, you are financially independent. You know, the income that you are getting is not as a result of the work that you're doing. So more like your money working for you, and then you have to do whatever it is that you have to do without having to exert so much energy. So building personal wealth to a large extent is having to be financially independent, having to get to a state in your life where you don't have to work for money, but you're also not concerned or worried about money because you've built enough assets over time, to be able to provide the cash flow that you need, to take care of you in your lifetime. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Odiri. Boason, could we just hear your opinion on it?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. I think we will need to work for money, and money work for us throughout our lifetime, because there's always a need, and human wants are endless. So if you are some of the richest men in the world, like Warren Buffett, and a few other international investors, if you are Tony Elumelu, for example, he's worked for money, and he's not here, physically here, but he's working for money as well. So, and he's put his money at work with other engagements, this has holdings and a lot of other institutions, the foundation and all that. But I think over time, we need to see money from a bit of a perspective as a tool rather than a goal. When we see money as a tool, it helps us to achieve so much more. Thank you. It helps us to achieve much more and have control over what money is. So money is a moving target. You move, money moves. So it's something that we need to make work, to put it at work, have some measure of control over it, and be sure that we can create value over time. We create wealth and you create value. Value is not necessarily money or cash, but we can create a whole lot of value in the system where we work and live and beyond, and globally speaking. And those are very critical points. And then as we move on in this conversation, we'll see a lot of areas in which we can put money to use and certain habits that we need to work on as entrepreneurs, as owners of small and business enterprises here, and what are the trends globally speaking that can help us stay ahead, even though we're operating in a very tight, bit of a difficult local economy. Thank you.
Boason, I'm particularly interested in that comment you made regarding saying money as a tool rather than a goal. So before we proceed, Akintoye, could you give your opinion on this as well? Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. I think anybody that knows me or maybe has listened to my music or whatever the case may be will know that I am no stranger to enjoyment. I like to have a good time, right? But, that being said, I understand the importance of personal finance and the importance of money and money management first comes from a mindset. It comes from a mentality. That mentality leads to an awareness. So what that awareness does is it then shows you that these are the tools available to you. And then when you get on that journey and start understanding that, this is an asset, this is a liability, these are the certain things I'm supposed to do to even just retain the money that I have, then over time you then get to the point, like Odiri said, where your money starts, working for you, where you start building a base where, you can reach financial freedom, you can reach financial independence. And I think that is what we all want. We don't want to have to think about, money so much, but it's like training any muscle. You have to have mentality, you have to have that awareness, and being on that journey is very rewarding, and it's incredible.
Thank you so much, Akintoye, for that response. So my next question would be directed to Boason first. How can a person master the basic discipline of putting money aside? Because right now we know that with the way the economy is interesting these days, it's quite difficult to save, right? But how can you master that discipline to put money aside? Yes, please.
Well, one of the disciplines that you need with money, and whether you have 1,000 or you have 1 million or you have several millions, which technically is billions, is the same discipline. If you can manage 1,000 naira well, you're not likely to manage 100 million well. So you need to watch a few things. Habits is very important, spending habits. There's a need of discipline there. Yes, you need money, and we all need good things. But you need to be a little bit, you need planning to spend, to make money so that you spend and you save. Saving is a culture. It has to be like your second nature, like your skin to the flesh, in the manner of speaking. And saving, therefore, has to be one of the first things you think about. But again, we work and live in a very tight operating environment. So it looks like we have the first course of what to spend money on. But when thinking becomes the natural recourse of our thinking process, then you begin to see saving in every little thing. So what do you save on? You save on everything that you do every day. Because again, those little savings and even your consumer spending and lifestyle and what have you all come together at a point to make a very bigger discipline for the future. The biggest investors and billionaires in the world, even in US dollar terms, have to still be disciplined with money. Because there's no money that cannot come to an end. And that's the fact. We've seen banks of 200 years old collapse everywhere in the world. So there's no money that cannot fly out of the window. But if we have the discipline to save, if we have the discipline to watch our culture, our habits, spending habits, then you'll be able to put money aside for wealth creation, then you can also create value elsewhere. And then you can also help you to diversify. For us in this environment, you need to be adaptable and flexible. The environment is getting tough by the day. Sometimes you don't know what is going to happen the next day. So the level of certainty in terms of life, the economic and socio-economic environment is almost unpredictable on an hourly basis. So you wake up, you find something else in the news, you sleep with something else in the news. And even globally speaking, things are changing every day. Last week, we won't be talking about the new conflict in the Middle East, but it's going to put a whole lot of pressure on logistics and on global oil. It's going to put pressure on demand, supply, and what have you. So businesses, small business owners and others will continue to be pressured by what they know and what they don't know. So what you know can hurt you as much as what you don't know. Therefore, there's a whole lot more planning, diligent planning that we need to do whatever part of the value chain we're involved in as small business owners and entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Boason. Odiri would like to also hear your opinion on that as well.
Okay, so the question I will ask is, can you really master discipline? Because when we talk about discipline, it sounds like something that is too hard. Sorry, it sounds like something that is hard. So how do you really master discipline? I think the best way to master discipline is to just start. There is no discipline without starting. You cannot be talking about discipline. It's like doing an exercise. Oh, I want to discipline myself to exercise every morning, and then you don't exercise. You don't start. So there is really no mastering of discipline without starting. So I think the best way to really master discipline is to start. Start small, but start. Irrespective of how you start. Irrespective of the level you start. When it comes to savings and building personal wealth, you can't master discipline if you don't start with the basics of saving, setting aside as little as 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 on a consistent basis. Because sometimes we start, imagine saving money, let's assume 5,000 naira every month. You start this month and the next month you save is in 10 months' time. You will never master discipline in that way. Sure. So you start, that is the first step, you start, and then you are consistent. Because discipline is built over time. When you are jogging, you start today, and you go and check, you check your weight, and nothing has happened. That means it's not working. But imagine if you are consistent for the next 1 year. It's people that will be telling you, oh, you've lost weight. It's the same thing with saving. You start small, but you set aside a certain amount of money, and then you are consistent over time, regularly. 1 year down the line, you look at your balance, so I have this much money. Yeah. That builds momentum. You become so excited and, you just go all out for it. So the best way really to master discipline is to start small though, but be consistent.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you on the area of consistency. You know, you made one very interesting point where you said you would start saving today, and then the next time you save is in 10 months' time. I am aware that most of us here are guilty of that, myself inclusive. I wouldn't even lie. All right? But to follow up with that question, Akintoye, you have claimed that you are the Chief Enjoyment Officer, right? Of which we all know. So how do you maintain this discipline, and then how consistent do you, what are the things you put in place to be consistent in your own goals, saving goals?
So I think the first thing is that for you to be able to enjoy it, you have to literally have earned the right to do so, right? You can't just wake up and go and just, that's not how life works. You have to literally earn the right. I think the thing about our society is that we don't show as much the work we put into the good times that we have. So a lot of people will show you they're having a good time, they're doing this, they're doing that, but you don't know how hard they were grinding to do that or to get to that place. But in terms of, how do you get that consistency? I think there's something that I believe. I believe that even if you're doing things that are not extraordinary, for an extraordinary period of time, you get extraordinary results. So it's not necessarily if you're putting down 5,000 a month in saving, that is not extraordinary. But when you look at the amount of months that you've done, that is extraordinary. So that will end up giving you an extraordinary result at the end of the day. I'll tell you guys the story. Before, ages ago, I used to work at a bank. And then when I left the bank, I went to work at Cisco. Now, when I was working at the bank, I was like, oh my God, this pressure is so much. There's so much pressure working at this bank. It's crazy. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced that.
Come on, we have experienced that.
I'm not saying anything. Hey. So when I went to work for Cisco, I was like, oh, American company, multinational. Yeah, we're cool here. The pressure was like 20 times worse. And the first thing, that time I actually used to come to UBA to try and, get deals done. Oslam knows me. We're part of the digital transformation technology upgrade here. Mm-hmm. This was, I think, 2018, 2019. If anything is not working, please don't hold me. I've left. Yeah. That's all perfect. Yeah, but the point I'm trying to get to is that the pressure was worse. And what that means is that your job security was really low. Like, some multinationals, some companies, if you are not doing the right thing for 6 months, in fact, you don't even have to be doing the wrong thing. Once the economy is moving funny, yes. You're just a line on an Excel sheet, and then people, lose their jobs every day. And that happens across the world. It's not anything personal. So that really, motivated me and sprung the action into my mind that, look, if I lose this job, I might not have enough to fall back on. So that actually pushed me, and that was my why. So a lot of people, I think when you start saving, or when sometimes you need a why. Even when you start working out, or anything that you do consistently, yes. Sometimes you need a why to just push you, and that will make you start. But of course, consistency is important, the discipline is important, and also having goals is also important. And those goals, in my opinion, you should always be setting, and they should always be moving. But yeah, that's.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Akintoye. He made one very important point, saying that if anything had happened, because you're just a line on an Excel sheet, if anything happens today, how many months can you rely on your savings? It's not a question to answer, it's just a question for you to ponder on at your private time. Okay, so Speaking about savings, right? I know that some people, when they want to commence savings, some people are really confused as to what avenue to commence with. Could it be real estate? Could it be properties? Could it be stocks? And all that. Some people are really confused and really do not know the difference between them. So this question goes to Odiri. Can you explain the difference between investing in stocks, real estate, bonds, and the likes? Yes, please.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. Very interesting question, because more like is a starting point of going into, how really do you now start saving or investing. So the first point for people when you start earning money is setting aside something. So that's what you call savings. So you leave money in your bank account. You don't touch it. I'm sure there are people who have millions of naira in their bank account. That's savings or current, not touch. So that's just savings. That's really not investing. Now, investing is the next level, I would say the elder brother to savings. So now you are taking a step further to say, I want to maximize the return that I'm getting from setting aside a certain amount of money. So that's when you now begin to think of investing. Now, there are different outlets for investing. You talked about properties, you talked about stocks, bonds, and then mutual funds. So I'm going to just briefly talk about these 4 different outlets. So property, we all know real estate. But the question is, how many of us can save enough out of our salary to really say we want to buy real estate? So the beauty about real estate is that, yes, it's a good savings platform or investment platform. However, it's capital intensive. So it's not really the good starting point for somebody who, is just starting out in your career or business and then you want to start saving. Is a point for maybe an advanced level, in your investment journey, and it's actually a high-risk investment opportunity. But yes, it is also an investment opportunity because it gives you the opportunity to earn return. So you buy the property, you rent it out, you get rental income. So as long as that property is working for you, it's an investment. The truth is, you buy a house to live in. It's an investment, but it's not an investment that is earning something for you. So you may not necessarily classify it as an investment option in what we are discussing. It's taking money out of your pocket because you are maintaining that property. But in the context of investing, it's when you buy a real estate property and you rent it out and you get rental income, that you can classify that as an investment opportunity. Now, because it's capital intensive, you require a lot of money, so it may not necessarily be the first or the best starting point if you're starting out in your investment journey. Now we move on to stocks. What is stocks basically? Stocks is basically owning a part of a company. So you can buy a share of UBA. You are a shareholder of UBA. That's an investment. UBA paid interim dividend of 50 kobo, last week. So that's an investment income that you're earning, which is called dividend out of your investment. Now, at the end of the day, you buy UBA share maybe at 10 naira, and then tomorrow it gets to 12 naira. Your investment has appreciated. The good thing about stocks, which can be a starting point in your investment journey, because you can start with as little as 5,000 naira to start investing in stocks. UBA share price today is about 17 naira. So let's assume you were to buy 1,000 units, that's basically 17,000 naira. So you can decide to buy 500, that's probably about 8,500. So with as little as that amount of money, you can start your investment journey, in investing in stocks. However, investing in stocks is risky. Is a high risk investment journey. So, it's a good place to start because the capital required is small. However, it requires a lot of understanding because it's highly volatile. You can buy a stock today at 10 naira and tomorrow it's 5 naira. So you've lost money. You can also buy a stock at 10 and then it goes up, you make money. But it's also a good starting point because the capital requirement is really low. And you can also earn return in the form of dividends or capital appreciation. Now we talk about bonds. Bonds is basically a fixed income instrument. So tomorrow, federal government decides to come and borrow money from everybody, and say, oh, I will pay you 15% for 10 years. So it's called a government bond. So it has a fixed interest. It also has a fixed timeline. Unlike shares, there's no end to shares. You buy UBA shares, there's no maturity date for the UBA shares. So that's completely different. But for bonds, it has a fixed tenor. So I pay you a fixed amount for a fixed period of time. The good thing about fixed income like bonds is the fact that you earn a certain return, which is called coupon or interest, at certain periods. It's usually every 6 months. So in next 6 months, I'm earning this. Unlike shares, the company can decide to pay you dividend today or not pay you. So that's why it also increases the risk of shares. But relative to bonds, the risk is lower for bonds, investing in bonds. Now we have, today we have the government savings bond for low, that requires very small amount of money, less than 50,000, even as low as 10,000 naira. You can start investing in savings bond. And I also said you can invest with little amount also in shares. Now, we move on to mutual funds. What is really mutual funds? Mutual funds is basically pooling resources to invest in any of these, real estate, stocks, bonds. So for a mutual fund, you have equity mutual funds, which is basically pulling investors' money together to invest in equities, or a fixed income or bonds mutual funds, which is basically pulling investors' money to invest in bonds, or even a real estate mutual fund, which is basically pulling investors' money to invest in real estate. And the fundamental reason for mutual fund is two things: diversification. Now I can put so much money in stocks or shares. If anything happened to my portfolio, my portfolio goes down. But for a mutual fund, you are more diversified. So that's the essence of a mutual fund. Even though they invest in all these things, they invest part in equities, they invest part in bonds, they invest part in real estate, they invest part in fixed income, just to provide diversification. We talk about not putting all your eggs in one basket, so that when that basket falls, your eggs don't all break. At the end of the day, you lose your money. So the essence of mutual funds is really about diversification. And also you can start small. With as little as 1,000 naira, you can own a mutual fund. You can invest in mutual fund. That's the essence of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Odiri. So, at the earlier stage of this conversation, Omede had mentioned that his boss, if you really follow Arise News, you'd see that his face that says, it begins with the bell, right? I'm not sure if we are all aware about that, but this is just to let you know. So now, the bell, of course, we know it has to do with securities exchange and shares and the like. So speaking on diversification, it's more like a follow-up to the comment that Odiri had made. How important is it to diversify your portfolio? Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you very much, and I speak in line with my asset manager here. But I'll take it a little bit further. Because this is wealth management and a business series. So I'm trying to see the connection between what our clientele at UBA is doing and wealth personal finance. So it's about mind your business, which is not an insult, by the way. It simply means pay particular attention to what you are doing. That's what mind your business is all about. Sometimes it's used, sometimes I see people insulting, but it means be focused on what you're doing. So I say mind your money. And it's all about financial stability for an individual and financial stability for your business as a small and medium enterprise. Financial stability is as important to a bank, which the central bank always emphasizes, as it is to small businesses. Now, taking investments in wealth creation further, and she spoke to different asset classes that are available, but it's also important for small business owners to diversify their business interests along the value chain. And what I'm trying to say is this. Yesterday, one of the oldest sandal-making company in the world, founded in 1774, was listed on the New York Stock Exchange for $8.6 billion US. Now, a footwear company making sandals, in fact, it's called Ugly Sandals. But $8.6 billion brought to the market. How many small enterprises, companies in Nigeria can come to the Nigerian market and valued at 8.6 billion naira, for example? So I'm sitting down here and I'm seeing in this audience and those who are online, those who can build business that could come to the market and deepen wealth creation and investment circuit and portfolio in Nigeria. My good friend who is in entertainment, I'm looking forward to see the first entertainment company that will be listed on the Nigerian exchange. Homeboys Entertainment was listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange about a year or two ago. And what do? They provide DJ businesses, they provide equipment for event hostings in Kenya and whatever. But they're very big. I think they do a bit of a radio entertainment and whatever, radio station, Homeboys Entertainment in Kenya. And they came for listing on exchange through direct listing. Then they've moved them this year to the main board of the Nairobi exchange. So you can have an entertainment musical company and be listed it on an exchange. And that is value creation. So if you have a small business, whether you're making sandals, flip-flops, or you're making gari, or you're even producing amala, a small set, that can go on a stock exchange and you can create value. Now, when you start doing businesses, you need to begin to think, especially in this type of environment, what is the value creation? And that is why I will introduce two things. News. News is important. As much as we look at the environment and things seem not to be going wrong, I will tell you this is one you have the best of the opportunities in a country such as Nigeria. Watch what is in the news and avoid the noise. Now, sometimes noise looks like news, but they're not the same. When you watch the news and watch the big boys and big businesses where they're going, what are they talking about, then you can see the areas in which you can diversify. For example, trade is where the world is going. UBA, for example, and I'm sitting down here in their building, so I'm going to make a little bit of a PR for them. UBA signed a very big deal, multi-billion dollars in Accra, I think a few months ago at the Afreximbank annual meetings with the Pan-African Settlement System with Afreximbank. That's onward lending to all their businesses across Africa. Now, how many of us in the audience are keen into trade finance right now, which is the biggest conversation, not just here, but for global trade around the world? Yesterday, you have the USAID and 11 other U.S. institutional investment companies sitting over about $2 trillion at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, just down the street. How many of us were aware they were there? What opportunities can you harvest? What much of what you are doing can go into supply chain for what is happening across African continent? Now, so this is how you can also widen not just your business, but your own personal finance as well, because the more deep you are within the business community, not just within Nigeria, but across Africa, the more you'll be able to make further investments. For those who want to invest in stocks and financial assets, just last week, you have a new trading platform that connects the Nigerian exchange with that of Ghana and that of Kenya. It's a new online trading platform called Second Stocks. Now that allows you to trade stocks among these three exchanges across Africa, and you can take advantage of interest rate, exchange rates, price appreciation across borders. So if you own the shares of UBA Nigeria and you have UBA Ghana also on a stock exchange, and UBA Nigeria is trading at 17 Naira and UBA Ghana is trading at XY Ghanaian Cedi, then you can have both of the best of the two worlds, right? And you have a bigger conversation for 9 exchanges across Africa as we speak. So the idea of what Madam from Asset Managers from United Capital is able to provide you is what you can do across Africa and not just within Nigeria. So it's a whole lot bigger. Some of us in the audience may see UBA because the headquarters is there in Apombo in Marina, and there's a bank in about 15 African countries, and the first with the only African bank
African countries.
with 19, thank you very much. The only African bank with a license in the United States.
Please, we need a round of applause.
No, and that is a fact.
It's not easy.
And you can check it, the only African bank, not even South Africa or anywhere in the world, African bank that has a license and is operating with a shop with an office in the United States. You have a license in the UK, you have in the Middle East, and I've been there. I had the privilege of seeing the opening of all this. So what I'm trying to come into is that we need to see a bigger cake. You need to think globally and act globally. Absolutely. And that is where my message is. Businesses, small businesses in Nigeria and for UBA clients need to see the wider picture. So you need to follow your bank, not just in terms of bringing deposit and you're trading and you're making money out, but where is the business, where is the bank going? Where is the institution you're banking, where is it going? What opportunities are they providing? UBA was also part of the government, the roadshow to the UN General Assembly on the sidelines. A lot of deals were signed and business investments are being talked about. There's a whole lot that are happening out there. So in terms of wealth management, you can have not just Nigeria, you can have the entire Africa, and you can have the whole world. But first, you need to also diversify within your business value chain. That is what I would advise those who are small businesses here to do. You can diversify. Those who are in music can do diversification into equipment, logistics within the entertainment industry, and they can have something within the next 5 years that can list on a stock exchange. You could just list primarily in any other exchange in Africa the way things are going, without primarily listing first at home. But charity should begin at home. So go down the street and do the first listing. United Capital is already listed. So she's already home delivery. Yes. Those are my words at this point. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Boason. You have really given us a lot of insights. And I believe that we have a lot of takeaways from the comments from Odiri and Boason. One of the things that stood out for me is the conversation on trade finance and how small business owners should also look into that discussion. Also, you mentioned something about listen to the news and not the noise. There's a lot of noise going on around social media today. So in order for us to fully make our investment as appropriate, we need to listen to the news and not the noise. The next question, before we take our Q&A sessions from our physical and online participants, will be directed to Akintoye. So, how are emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and blockchain impacting the stock markets and investment strategies?
Thanks for that question. It's quite interesting. We're talking about something similar before in the green room, myself and Odiri. Yeah. So for technology, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the likes, one thing you have to understand is that technology is just a tool, right? And the tool can be used for good and it can be used for bad, and it can go in both ways, right? I'll give an example of what I was saying earlier. So many tech companies in the past 2 years have literally let go of a huge part of their workforce. That's because of two reasons. One is the economic downturn that's happened recently, and second reason is because of the emergence of artificial intelligence, right? So that has, put a lot of people out of a job. In the same breath, I can tell you today that a lot of people are earning millions of naira, millions of dollars because of the jobs that artificial intelligence is creating for them and allowing them to do, right? As I speak to you today, yesterday I was making a job description for a new role that I wanted to hire for, right? All I needed to do was use artificial intelligence and say, hey guys, I'm looking for a trader, this, that, and literally the whole job description has just come out for me. When I was making my album cover for my last album, I just put some like 5 or 6 of my pictures and wrote maybe the kind of mood I wanted, and it spat out an album cover for me. Obviously, I had to edit with my graphics guys to get the final results, but the point is that these are jobs that are being created. I can sit at home and say, I'm a graphic designer, I make artwork, I make album covers, and literally just use the tool that I have and use some creativity and intelligence to be able to put things together. And that is how artificial intelligence is able to create jobs and also take jobs, in the same breath. So it's really about how much research are you doing as a person, how much are you learning, how much are you trying to better yourself, and how far are you taking yourself. Now, I'll speak on blockchain. I'm quite passionate about blockchain and its use cases around the world. In terms of investing and finance, the beautiful thing about what blockchain has been able to do is it's been able to drop all the barriers of all the geographic barriers, I'll put it like that. And literally anything that you would have to use maybe like a stockbroker to do because of jurisdiction to buy stocks, or investments that were not available to everybody are now literally available to everybody at any stage. Like what Boason said, what they're doing with the African stock market, being able to put Nigerian stock markets, Ghanaian stock markets, Kenyan stock markets in one app and one product is beautiful. That is where the world is going to. That's where the world is. We need to be borderless. Before, a lot of the reason why some of our counterparts in the Western world have been able to save, invest, and get so far ahead of some of us in Africa is because they simply have had the opportunities to do so, right? When I used to work at Cisco, I could take 10% of my salary and immediately invest in stocks, in Cisco's stocks. I'm not saying that people can't do that here, but this was like common practice. This was just normal, and I had a stockbroker With apps that have come out now, you have some access to some global stock markets, but that is primarily what the blockchain helps to do. You can tokenize, you can have a real world asset, you can have a house, you can turn that house into a digital asset, and you can invest based on that digital asset that you have. You can even break down that digital asset into 10, 20, 50, 100 places. You can access this. You can access a company. A company can just have started in Singapore maybe 2 months ago, and you've done your research and say, wow, this is a great company. That company has a token. You can invest in that, and you can make money. Of course, it's extremely important to mind your business, as you said, and do your own research in everything that you do. That is so important. But the beauty of these technologies and things that are happening now is that if you look maybe 100, 200 years ago, I don't know when they discovered oil, I'd be like, oh wow, something that was revolutionary at the time, and people that jumped on that, they would have made themselves so much money by now by just keying into what's happening, being aware, knowing what's happening in the news. And that is the same today. The same technology, artificial intelligence, that people can be afraid of and say, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with that, is what a lot of people are using to make money, what people are building companies around. The same thing with blockchain. Odiri was saying that she's an angel investor. I'm sure you see a lot of companies that they just come and say, we have built AI, because they know that that's what's hot. Or we build something in blockchain because that is what is hot. But jokes aside, apart from it being what is hot, there's a reason why people are talking about this technology. There's a reason why people are investing so heavily in these departments and things. And it's because, they're literally life-changing. In another 20 years, these things will just be normal. They won't be what we're speaking about. We're speaking about something else. But the major call is to be ahead, be with technology, be ahead of technology, and know the real-life applications it has to you when you want to invest, when you want to make money, when you want to be financially savvy, so to speak. Yeah.
The use of the word savvy. So, Boason, would you like to give a brief comment on that before we take questions from the audience? Thank you.
Just a few points. I had a very little note. I still take notes as a paralegal. I was a paralegal, and so before I came into the media. So, 2 points I want to touch very quickly, and they're a bit intertwined in terms of why small and medium enterprises, part of your personal finance and financial stability at a personal level and at a business level, small and medium enterprises is issues around budget and debt. Now, these are two important things in terms of savings, investment. For businesses, you need budget, and you need to be very careful with doing budget and make sure that when you do a budget, either for the business or personally, you need to stick with it. Financial recklessness has no place in both personal life and in business as well. So you need to be fiscally disciplined. So if we ask of it from the government, we should also practice it at small business levels. And I just talk about that footwear company that's worth about 8.6 billion. It's all about being fiscally being financially responsible over time and being able to push onto the big market. So budget is one. So make budget is good for you to stick with it. The second point is on how to manage debt. Now, debt is tied to what you call loan. So if you take loan for your business, and this is my advice to small and medium enterprise, you take loan for the business, don't pick out of it to go do a wedding or a birthday ceremony. If you take loan, if you approach UBA, for example, take 20 million, 10 million naira, 15 million naira, trade finance, whatever facility loan from UBA, don't go there and buy a personal car. Apply for a personal loan finance with UBA, and they will give you, the bank will give you a personal finance loan. So don't take loan for Boason Enterprises and you go start building a personal house. That money was meant for the factory, for the business, for logistics, whatever, supply chain, whatever you're doing, hiring more people and expanding your frontiers of your business. So don't go divert it to a personal business. So try to create the China wall Sorry, the Berlin Wall, but it's down now. But just create something like the iron wall between your personal finance. So don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing in terms of debt. So if you want to take personal finance, take that on your salary and your personal income. Don't take it on the earnings or the income or revenue of business. And I just want to drop that in very quickly because a lot of problems happen. And this I've seen as a business journalist over time. There are some of the companies that you've seen in the market, some of them come as long as being listed on the stock exchange end up in the dustbin because the owners over time started mixing everything together to the extent that is going to have the company's loan and use that to do chieftaincy title, use it to pursue political ambition, use it to make feel good in the local village. Don't do that. That's one Nigerian who has that financial discipline, and if you permit me, Aliko Dangote is one of them. He's extremely disciplined. And he has said it at public fora, so I'm going to repeat just one or two of what he has said. From what I know, I'm not too sure any one of us in the audience here can remember anywhere Aliko Dangote donated cement, for example. So if you meet him and you need to build your school premises and you need a trailer load of cement, so what would Aliko do for you? Put hands in his pocket and give you money to go buy cement. You're going to end up buying Dangote cement in the market. Now, what does that do? That keeps his sales of Dangote cement steady at the top of the market, right? Yes. Out of that, he is a shareholder. So he gets dividend from the money he has given you. Yes. So the money he's giving you comes back to him.
Exactly.
Now, so that's our business. But we have some habits that hurt businesses here. If you run a restaurant, for example, the day you're going to have your birthday or whatever, you ask everybody to the restaurant to serve everybody free food. So you're dipping hands into the raw materials, you're dipping hands into the sales day, whatever, and your staff also help themselves in local balance. You understand what I mean? So if they serve 200, they say we serve 300. So they help themselves with 100 pieces. Now, so we need to watch a whole lot of things as small business owners in Nigeria. Don't make donations to the church, whatever, from the company's account. Do it from your personal account and your cash flow.
Exactly. True.
Those are a few words I'd say.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Boason. Thank you. Please, a round of applause again for our panelists. Yes. You know, you spoke on debt, but when we come back from the Q&A from the participants, I have a question for Odiri regarding debt and how to reliably pay your debt. So let's take questions from the crowd and from the participants, and we'll come back to it. Thank you.
So we'll take questions from the audience, about 3 questions from the audience and 2 online. So your questions, please. With the raise of hand, the mic will come to you. Boason wants to ask a question. Okay, I have a question. Or do we start with Alero? Okay, Alero.
Okay, we have a question.
Okay, let's go over there. Great. So tell us your name, where you're coming from.
Sorry. My name is Uche Oku, representing Mojeson Investments, AIT. My question, you talked about shares. I remember in the last 10 years, we invested heavily on shares, different companies. It was a really setback because the risk that we encountered, as at that time, if we had invested in land, maybe by now we would have been billionaires. So going back with what you said, I don't know how the stocks, because I really bought even for my children, as little as they were. So I don't know how the stocks are at now, because I bought different companies, banks, cement, In fact, that was what was raining. In fact, even the only company I knew that, to an extent, even though it crashed, I was a little bit getting something, was NACO. So I don't know how shares now, if somebody doesn't have the money, the resources for estates. That's my question.
Okay. Alero had her hands up. Let's take from Alero.
Okay, it was in relation to shares as well. I think there's been a lot of volatility in the market around it. I think my question is more around information. I think people need to know where to go to get information, what they should be looking out for. So I think I want to ask the panelists, if you're a layman, you have no finance background, where would you advise people to go to determine where they're making their investments? Thank you.
The third question. We have a man. Okay. You can stand up. So your name and where you're from?
My name is Chikizi. I'm an IT consultant. So my question is tailored around business finance. Yes, we've talked about how to maintain a business and also stocks, trade finance. But I'm yet to hear the part of how to source a how to get funds to start up a business. Thank you.
Okay. So let's take from our online audience so that we address the questions all together.
All right, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon, and our panelists. At UBA, we care about your financial well-being. We also care about your physical well-being as well. So I'd just like to remind the ladies that this month, the month of October, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we should all go and get ourselves checked. Okay. The question is from Ekemini from Uyo. He says, the concept of insurance is not widely accepted in this part of the world. A lot of us small business owners are quite confused as to what type of insurance is most beneficial or even relevant. What insurance option is best for individuals and small business owners? Another question is from Gideon, and this question is specifically for Odiri. Said, what highly profitable plans does United Capital have, and what is the return on investment? Also, the person wants to know if there is any special plan or package for retirees. That's all we have from the online audience. Back to you, Sharon.
Thank you so much. So, Boason would like to go first on the question, then on the questions.
Yes, thank you very much. And I just had to beg Odiri, who's United Capital, for me to take a first shot on the stock market side and what happened. And I'll speak to Madam's. You know, I was born raised in a very small village. My parents were cocoa farmers for about 40 years or so. So the 8 of us were born on the farm. And this very small village, and I mean very remote village, we had to source water from the local stream and wells. Now, when it gets to dry season, when water gets a lot more scarce, so the water comes up overnight and people get there. In the morning, you got to fetch with the little rope and the ball that goes down into the well. So what do? Some of us back then as kids had to sleep over at the well side with lamps and lanterns. And you had to fetch water sometime 2, 3 a.m. Now, for those who will be coming in at about 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, the crowd is there. And the whole fight happens a number of times and the water gets muddled up. Is that not so? Now she's smiling. She gets the message already. By 2007, 2008, when some folks get into the stock market here, the water, it was already daylight afternoon. And people were investing when they should be going out. So that's the first thing that happened. A lot of people started coming to the market when the party was over. So in the stock market, what you do is you invest on the rumor and sell on the news. When the rumor is going around, that's when you should get into the market. By the time the news is out from Boason's mouth on television, the big boys here, the big men here, are already cashing out of the market and they are home and dry. So you need to understand when to get, so market investment, financial market asset investment, you need to know timing. Now, if you look on the wall here of this building, if you look at this pillar, the second pillar there, you see what UBA writes: enterprise, excellence, and what's the third? In business, and I'm sure you know that if you're a distributor, whether you are selling rice at Dalico market or whatever, if you get late to the market, you'll be buying your bag of rice or cement at a higher price because everybody had come in early and they've bought and taken off. So the same principle, madam, that you employ in your daily business, getting up early, right? And sleeping late at night and paying attention, the same thing you need to apply to the stock market. It's the same thing. So those who have made money out while singing the song to others, by the time it gets to you, after church service, whatever, or the mosque service, the person who is telling you had already gone out of the market, so you are the one holding the tail end. So a lot of that happened in 2017, 2018. The second point is that the first rule of investing is never invest in anything that you are not ready to lose that money. The first rule of investing, never invest money that you are not ready to do what? To lose. So don't take the family pocket money or the money that the children have for birthdays or the church account or the village money which was kept in your care. Don't invest it in stocks. And as Madam said earlier, it's risky. But some of the biggest and the richest men in Nigeria, including Tony Elumelu, made money and the market makes them. But it requires something else: patience. Stock market, mutual funds, bonds investing requires patience. So like I was a little boy, and one of the things that taught me patience in life is sleeping at the well many times over many years, overnight with mosquitoes. The patient to wait for that dry well to start bringing water up little by little, and we start fetching it one after the other. So you need patience. You cannot invest in stocks. It's not babajebu. You will have to have patience. Stock investing that's why it is called securities. It's for the future. It is not for today. That's why she separated savings from investment. The message many people got back then was that stock market investing was like savings. You just put the money in there, and the next day you go there and you say you want to sell the stock, and the money would have appreciated 1,000%. It's not savings, it's investing. So people need to, it has sound as basic as it is, but most people got it wrong. Okay? So those are the few points, madam. So those shares that you bought, finally, they are not lost and they are not useless. As long as these companies are still alive. They are future value things, okay? Investment and securities. They're not the kind of things that you put your business money directly into. So you need to watch it again. Like I said, build that wall between your business. If you take loan, a term loan from UBA, and you go and put it on the stock because you just heard the stock market is moving today, UBA is going to ask you the money back. The stock market has not yielded what you need to pay back. You're going to be in debt. Therefore, be very careful about how you do this. But you haven't lost those investments, and I'm sure Madam is here to take your account and walk you through how you can look at your portfolio of what you invested back then. I'm sure some of those shares that perhaps you've abandoned have given dividends over time that you're not even aware of. By now, you could be sitting on money that you are not aware of, madam.
True.
But I would like to be there when the conversation is going on because I'm the one giving you the advice. I'll take you
Thank you
finder's
so
fee
much,
money.
Boason.
Finally, a quick one and a very true life example. I'm sorry and due apologies to my co-panelists. There was an elderly man who had kids who were not being taken care of and he was living in a rented apartment. Very elderly man. And he was given a quick notice. And so he had to start packing everything and going out. And they were packing his things from the house, and the children were not so responsible. Then he had loads of share certificates and other things, annual reports of companies that he had packed at home, and he was investing those days in USC and a lot of other companies and all of that. And he called the little boys around in the house and said, look, they should help him go sell it to Mama Sikira or whoever was selling groundnut and all of that, so that at least he could make some little money. So one of the boys who picked it from him said, Baba, your share certificates. Share certificates. So that one went and showed his elder brother. To cut the long story short, they pulled everything together. They helped him find a stockbroker. That elderly man, when he went to the stockbroking firm, the first thing was they gave him tea and coffee. And Baba was, okay, what's going on? And first, they gave him a car.
Wow.
Then, not only rent, but enough to build a home. Because for 10, 20, 30 years until his retirement, those things were piling up. So he had millions of naira in value that he never knew he had. When he had a car with a driver attached to it because too old, he couldn't drive and all the kids, the son, the children now start coming around and say, look, you were never here. So you could be sitting on so much money that you are not aware of. So check your home when you get there under the mattress and pillow. You could be sitting on money.
Thank you so much, Boason. So Odiri would give our thoughts on the questions alongside with Alero's question as well.
All right, thank you. You've really done great justice to that question, but just a few points, and just to maybe a sort of consolation. You're not the only one who lost money that time. You know, a lot of people, even the ones who are supposed to know, they also lost money. Very many investment professionals lost money. Billionaires lost money, during that season. And it was not just a local episode. It was also a global episode. I don't want to say sorry for your loss, but I believe that, to a large extent, the market has recovered significantly. And one of the things we'll see when people lose money, I said earlier that investing in shares is risky. The problem is when people lose money with investing, particularly in stock market, they tend to shy away from going back there. And that's a great disadvantage. A few months ago, around April or so, UBA shares was 8 naira. Today, UBA shares is 17 naira. This is just UBA shares, 17 naira. That's like 2 times what it was 4 or 5 months ago. And on top of that, over the years, UBA had been paying dividends. So investing in shares is risky, but the truth is, once you shy away from it because of the risk, at the end of the day, you are missing a lot. You're missing big time. So we will work with you and see the shares you have and see how, to a large extent, you probably have dividends that have been accrued over the years, unclaimed dividends that have not been collected. That can also help you, cushion the negative impact of what that episode did to you. But one of the things I want to really emphasize about investing is that if you go to the hospital to see a doctor, will you take a medical advice from the person at the reception who tells you that she's not a medical professional? No. You put your health in the hands of a professional. Why not put your money in the hands of a professional? Majority of the time when people lose money is because they take investment advice from people who don't even have money. They take investment advice from their people on this. Oh, you are doing business with somebody. She says, people are buying shares now. People are come on, you go to UBA parlor. So we take investment advice from the wrong set of people, from our friends, families, people, neighbors. You are taking investment advice. So you will not put your health in the hands of somebody who is not trained as a medical doctor. The same way, don't put your financial future, don't put your money in the hands of somebody who is not a professional. And one of the beauty of the stock market or the financial market is that it is highly regulated, and you have to be a professional to play in that market. So what I would say is, if you want to invest, speak to a professional, a financial advisor, an investment professional, and let them guide you on your investment journey. To a large extent, you will not lose out, or you will not lose anything, because you are taking guidance from somebody who is an expert. The second thing I want to talk about is investing is knowledge. The truth is that investing is not really about money. It's about knowledge. And so there's still a responsibility on our part to ensure that, you ask questions, you do your due diligence. If somebody says, go and buy this, go and invest in this. One of the reasons why a lot of people lost money in crypto is because they were just, you're investing in crypto. Yeah, which one are you doing? And then they jump in. And then when the market tumbled, a lot of people lost money. And because people didn't understand what they're investing in. You talk about one rule of investing. I said, don't invest in anything that you do not understand. If I ask people, what is crypto? Something that other people are invested in. They don't understand it, and then they put their money. So I will add to that rule, don't invest in something that you don't understand. If they cannot explain it to you, if you cannot understand it, whether you're a layman, you're a professional, don't invest. Don't invest. It's better to regret that you did not make the money than regret that you lost money. Yes. It's regret though, but the other one is more painful. I did not lose my money. At least I regret it, but I did not lose my money. I did not make the money, but I did not lose my money. A hard-earned money, I will not lose it because I'm listening to somebody who is not a professional, or I'm listening to, the noises around. So that's really very important. And then Alera talked about information around shares, and I think it's very important. There's a lot of engagement, webinars are being done, a lot of radio jingles are being done, both at the SEC level, at the NGX level, even at the levels of investment professionals and asset managers like ourselves, just to educate the public. The truth is, if you want to know about investing, go through that channel, that reputable channel, not other outlets that are not, well regulated. So those information are out there. The truth is, I think the onus lies on us now to ensure that we are more out there, because it's easier to get information from the wrong source, than really from the right source. So we take that as a feedback to ensure that we are more visible in providing the information, that is needed for investing. You talked about timing, and I think it's also something I want to emphasize. Also, timing is important when it comes to investing. The basic principle of investing is you buy low, you sell high. The truth is, when the market is tanking, people are running away from the market. The price is dropping, and then you are running away. But that is actually the best time to even enter. That's the best time to enter. We enter most often when people are rushing into it and the price is going up. Yes. That's when we enter, and that's the wrong time. So timing when it comes to, yes, people are saying, buy the stock, it's going up, and then you rush it, and then it starts going down. So the timing is really very important when it comes to investing, and the best time is when it's going down, when the stocks are low, because you are able to sell high. So that's really very, very important. And then do your due diligence. Somebody talked about products at United Capital. Mm-hmm. So United Capital is a bouquet of financial services. We talked about the savings, also talk about the investment. So on the investment side, we have products across Naira and across the foreign currency. We have mutual funds. We are really big on mutual funds because, mutual funds is a way to help people diversify. Now, people who invest directly in the equities market tend to probably have a small amount of money, and then they invest in probably few securities. But from a mutual fund perspective, you are able to invest in a bouquet of stocks or investment opportunities. So we are very big on mutual funds, and the returns are really more attractive. One of the beauty about mutual funds is that you are benchmarked to a certain performance. So if the stock market is returning 30%, which is what is returning as at today, you who bought only one shares, you will not get that 30%. but the mutual fund will be able to do even more than 30% because the mutual fund had been able to represent all the shares on the stock exchange. So we're really encouraging people to look out for investing in mutual funds because there you're able to maximize your return while at the same time reducing your risk. I think I've covered a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Odiri, for that detailed response to the question. So we have one last question from the young man at the back who asked about getting funds. We've been talking about investing, and then he's been curious about how do we get these funds, particularly for small business owners. So Akintoye would like to give a response to that before we take the wrap-up question.
Yeah, so thanks for the question. For anybody who is just starting a business and is looking to raise funds, I think the most important thing for you to do is initially, of course, have a plan. Have where you're going. Try and do a business plan. Try and do some projections of what you're trying to do. I'm big in I'm more focused in the entertainment and tech sector, and I would use example of, first of all, the different options available to you in let's say the technology sector, for instance. You have angel investors, you have exactly like Odiri, you have angel investors, you have venture capitalists, you have private equity that you can get money from. You can also get a business loan from a bank. Whichever way you go to, you can go raise from friends and family. I think whichever way, apart from maybe friends and family that want to support you, everybody will ask you, what is your plan? What are you trying to do? Exactly. Do you have something called a minimum viable product? Do you have an MVP? Which is what is this smallest proof of concept that can show that this business is viable? Key point is viable. In that what have you done on your own before coming to ask for money to show that this business is going to grow? Everybody wants to put their money in a sure thing, as sure a thing as possible. We're talking about investments now, so this is like the flip side of investment. Everybody that is investing money into a business wants it to be as safe and as sure as possible. So if you're looking to get funds to start your business, you want to have shown a little bit of, you want to have shown as much as possible that, I have some skin in the game, I've done some things, I've been able to, by myself, develop a product, whether it's through personal funds, whether it's through savings, whatever the case may be, even if it's not the full-blown idea, right? The smallest version of this, at least so that any investor will see that this person or this business is likely to succeed. And I say so, I've worked closely with venture capitalists before, so I understand something that is very important, which is that any idea can be a good idea, and any idea can also be a bad idea. Because something has started to, because someone has made some money today, doesn't mean that that's going to happen tomorrow. But essentially, what a lot of people are looking at is they're looking at the founder, they're looking at the people that are starting the business, and they're looking at the size of the market as well, right? So so many things are seasonal. You can be making money now and not making money tomorrow. But if you have a plan and the person has invested in you would most likely say, okay, this person has the plan, has the discipline, so that even if what they're doing doesn't work out, they have the sense to pivot to something else that will work. And that comes with having the discipline to plan and have some skin in the game. Like I said, and that goes into like when you're doing your business plan, your diligence, your reporting, how are you keeping your books, and so on and so forth. The going to private equity, of course, that's when you've reached a certain level and you've done business for years and years and years, and so on and so forth, and maybe you're looking for an exit. Going to maybe a venture capitalist might be you have some idea, you have a proof of concept, maybe you have revenue, maybe you don't have revenue, depending on the stage of your company. If you're a pre-seed company or a seed stage company, you might have very little revenue to show. And maybe if your business is already growing and already doing well, all you might just need is a business loan. You might not want to give out any piece of your company away, and all you want to do is just get a loan to continue to grow that business that you know that you're going to pay off. For instance, if you are if you are in FMCG business, if you're in the trade business, and roughly how much you do a month. You know the channels are available, distribution channels are available to you, and you just want to supercharge that. You might be better off, going to get a loan, and so on and so forth like that. So those are the different ways I think that you can raise money for your business. But I think over and beyond, the most important thing for any founder, anybody that is going to get money, understand that nobody is giving you money for free. The people on the other side of that money, they want it to be as safe and as sure as possible, and it's up to business people to be as diligent and responsible as possible in their planning, in their operations, in their execution, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Akintoye, for doing justice to that question. To even emphasize on what Akintoye had mentioned regarding raising funds, I don't know if some of us here are conversant with this show that's on YouTube, Shark Tank or Lion's Den. You would see that when people are going to potential investors, they tend to have minimum viable products, and then those investors, even those potential investors, even sieve through the various applications or the various business proposals that have come through to them. So it's just to further emphasize that for you to raise finance for your business, you need a minimum viable product. You need to be able to demonstrate to the potential investor that you can provide value for their money through their investments. So thank you so much to our panelists. As we wrap up the session, I have one last question, and I think I would start from Odiri. We have been talking about investing and making wealth. So what strategies would you give to keep and maintain? Because there's one difference. There's something about creating, and there's something about maintaining that wealth that you have created. So what strategies would you give to keep and maintain the wealth? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. Strategy to maintain your wealth. So I would say for you to be able to maintain, it means you have created. You have enough, because you cannot maintain something that you probably don't have. But the truth is, for you to have created, it means that you exercise some discipline, some habits, and that same habit is useful in maintaining. You don't just get to a point where you've built wealth over time and then you think that, oh, now that I have attained all this, I have this amount of money. You now go lavish spending. You don't do the thorough and detailed due diligence you do before you make an investment decision. You just assume that, oh, I've arrived. That's the beginning of a supposed downfall. Because the truth is to maintain. It takes a lot to build, but it takes more to keep what has been built. So I would say one of the strategies really to maintain wealth is to ensure that those discipline, those habits, those principles that you've imbibed to get to where you were, you don't throw them away. Because that is one of the fundamental disciplines that you still need to carry you to the next level. And you'll see that, sometimes we complain that people who have money are stingy. That's the truth. We expect that because they have money, you just walk off to them, they'll just go and... No, it is the same discipline that they had to even get to that level. It's the same discipline they're still maintaining, even when they have built that wealth. So it's important for us to ensure that same discipline, when it comes to maintaining, we don't lose sight of it. And the next thing I will talk about is the fact that, at a certain point in your life, you think about transferring your wealth. Here you have worked so hard to keep it, you're not thinking of transferring. One of the easiest way to lose your wealth is in the process of transferring. If you transfer it in a wrong manner, it can get squandered. It can get squandered in a person's lifetime. It can get squandered probably when the person is not alive, which is an unfortunate situation. So maintaining in terms of the discipline and habit, and the second part is on how you transfer wealth to the next generation. Ensure that you ring-fence your transfer process. If you're transferring to a particular beneficiary, maybe it's a child or or someone you want to transfer, ensure that process is secured. Because at the end of the day, if that person does not have access to the wealth, then the wealth is of no use. Two, if the person has access to the wealth, but does not have that discipline that you have to maintain, the person squanders it, and that's the end. So that transfer process, that's more like succession. When you talk about succession in the business, it's also important. Succession is also a very important principle when it comes to wealth transfer. And that's something that we need to pay attention to. And then the third thing I will talk about, there are a lot of strategies on how to retain. A lot of strategies on how to ensure that, when you've built wealth over time, you now begin to see things about taxes. That's a big part. A lot of people, by the time you transfer that wealth, you now realize that 50% of that wealth has to go to the government in form of tax. And that's because the right structure is not in place. So there's a need to have a professional to walk you through that process to ensure that, there are no leakages. You are not paying more than the benefit that you are getting at the end of the day. So just to reiterate what I said, the strategies in terms of the discipline and habits that you have imbibed to be able to create, you also need to maintain that in the course of maintaining your wealth. The process of transferring to the next generation, whether in your lifetime or when that person is gone, and also the strategies to ensure that that transfer process does not have leakages, particularly in the form of taxes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Odiri. Akintoye, would you give an opinion on that before Boason?
Yeah, Odiri, she has pretty much said it all. I think the most important thing in trying to maintain your wealth is your mentality, your awareness, your habits. What are you doing? What have you been doing that has kept you there? Don't get arrogant. Maybe you have like a certain amount of money and just say, okay, now, I can just be, don't be proud. Enjoy in moderation. Yeah, so just ensure that, you're following those steps. I think also as you accumulate more wealth, there's more of a need to go for, I'd say, safer investments, investment classes. I guess bonds are, relatively safer in compared to stocks maybe. Yeah, so, you'd want to maybe do things that are a bit more conservative with more money that you have, and don't just wake up one day and go and play too short odd on Sporty Bet or
that's very aggressive
or something. I just say because it does happen. People get confidence. I've made this money, I've done this, and next thing you just want to try something. You just think everything you touch turns into gold until it doesn't. So that is very important. It's very important to have that mentality. That is super important. That's one thing I want to always keep.
Thank you so much, Akintoye. Boason, let's hear from you before we close.
Thank you very much. I think my parting shot will go back to one important point for our small and medium enterprises and entrepreneurs, is to keep looking for opportunities within the economy. And I cannot overemphasize this. Look, the environment has a lot of pressure points and what have you. But you see, the man who is sick is the one that needs the physician, right? So try and find out where you can plug into new areas in the economy and see beyond the four corners of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. One of the success factors for UBA is that it's so very early why it needs to go global. And I'll keep sounding that I'm not going to be the head of the PR for UBA, but I'm trying. Because if you look within the economy, you will find a lot of areas in which you can diversify your business and make new investments that can expand your business portfolio. I would tell everyone who is watching, who is a businessman and woman, to please focus on intra-Africa trade. Whether we like it or not, it's here upon us, and we cannot, as a country, escape it. The financial services industry are making inroads already. They are opening the way. UBA is doing that. Everybody's doing that. United Capital is doing that. The company is paying dividend as well. They're making inroads. Those of you who are in the value chain of businesses and whatever should also see how you can position for what has come upon us, which is the trade in within Africa and globally speaking. And Nigeria has enormous resources with which we can be ready for the opportunities. The banks, the financial industry is there to help and help everybody move forward. But if we don't start taking those opportunities, the small and business enterprises are at the heart of intra-Africa trade, not the big multinationals. So you are the ones that they will key into to get raw materials, to get processes, and a whole lot of things done. So for those who want to do that right now, I think it is time to talk to professionals. It is time to get to know what is going on and see how you can be part of the game. The new game in town is global finance, global trade. Africa trade. And that's what I'll leave everybody with. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please, a standing ovation for our panelists. Please, they have done justice to the subject matter. Thank you so much, Odiri. Thank you, Boason. Thank you, Akintoye. So we have now come to the end of the panel discussions, and I hope that the conversations that came up from this topic has given us value that we would use to efficiently invest, make investment, and also maintain whatever wealth we have created through our investment. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating.
Okay, you may have your seats, please. Thank you so much to our panelists. Everyone have your seats, please. They're going to have a photo session. We're not done, and as soon as the photo session is over, we'll have the awards. Osilama, join them. So a round of applause for Osilama as he joins them. I think the ladies, all right, good. So while the photo session is on, I'll give a background to the awards presentation. How many of us were aware about the guests, the speakers? Who knows about that? We ran a game online where we said guess the speakers for this event. How many of you are aware? Okay, just a few persons. So we have winners from the guest the speakers competition. The winners are here. And 3 people are going to be announced. I hope they are here. 3 people. So if you participated in that competition, clap for yourselves. If you participated, if you did participate, don't clap. Just like in the Senate, they say the ayes have it, the blah, 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 the nays. So if you participated, clap for yourselves. It has reduced. Okay. So one of those clapping, their names will definitely be here. Okay, so the session is still going on. So their names will be announced. So I'm running this simultaneously with the photo session so we can save time. And the winner for the guests, the speakers competition are, we'll wait for the photo session to be over, and then we'll take it. So, Coca, are we done? Okay, great. So, the winners and the gifts are here. Ife and company. To do the presentation, we'll have Osilama on stage to do the presentation. So our guests, you may have your seats. So a bit of housekeeping before I announce the winners. As soon as the closing remarks and we say we are done, when we say we are done, or not before. So don't start running, or I'll reserve this announcement to the end. All staff, we have refreshments for you. So when we say we are done, just go out, staff, for your refreshment. Then guests, there's a difference between our external guests and our internal guests. So when I say guest, don't say I'm a staff and a guest. So internal guests who are staff, we'll go out for refreshment. Then our external guests, Osilama's customers, will wait behind for their package or their gifts in-house. So for the winners, Cynthia Okoli, a round of applause for her. Cynthia Okoli, did you clap for yourself when I say all of you should clap? How did she win? So you'll get your gift right now, Cynthia. Paparazzi, oh yeah. Paparazzi. And following Cynthia, don't mind me if I bastardize your name, it's allowed. Eyitayo Olaoluwa Ayodeji. Come on, it's only ladies. The Day of the Girl Child and something cancer awareness. I hope you all will go for it. So the ladies are winning. Okay, ladies. I hope this is a man, Sha. Tayo Salami. Finally. At least balance. So these are the 3 top winners. There are others that won from the online community. They'll reach out to you specifically to your DM online so that we know that it is you and another person will not be the other person. A round of applause for the winners. So, the 30 people. So, a round of applause for UBA. So, somebody just whispered to me now. So, we sent out a mail and we said, first 30 people to arrive in the hall. If you are one of those 30, just wave. You know yourselves. Those 30, wait behind. Eh? Okay. Boason said he's one of the 30. Okay. So they took down names. If your name is there, no problem. Well done, sirs, and wonderful people. So we'll have the head value chain banking UBA, Ugochi Obanwa. I hope I got it this time. She's going to give us the closing remarks. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Such an exciting session that we've just had. Great. I've certainly learned a lot, and I will adopt several things mentioned for my personal financial growth. Listen to the news, not the noise. Please, can we give a round of applause to our panelists? Thank you so much. So for me again, key take home is that financial well-being is a journey, and it is important to continue learning. Mind your business, like he said. Be disciplined and adapt on our path to the success that we desire, be it personally and in our businesses. Very important. Okay? So vote of thanks. I want to thank our executive management, our DMD, our GMD, our ED. Thank you so much. I want to thank, that's the 4.0 team. Thank you so much. Without your approval, we couldn't have done this. Our panelists again, thank you. Our esteemed corporate value chain customers that took out time to be present here today, thank you so much. We also have customers online that are registered. We had over 5,000 registered participants online. That is a record for us. Thank you so much. So as our customers, you know, like my unit head said earlier, we are committed to start and grow with you in your businesses. You can access our various products and services that we have. Reach out to your relationship managers, visit our branches, you can meet with me. We have colleagues there that you can talk to as well. So please, we're here for you. Without you, all of this would not be possible. And lastly, to my colleagues, to the media house, we appreciate you, thank you. To my colleagues, corporate comms, product marketing, Aleros team, thank you so much. To my regional heads, my relationship managers, my great value chain team, thank you so much. Every person that supported us to deliver this session, we appreciate you and we look forward to more collaborations. Thank you very much.
All right, so thank you very much, everyone. So our internal guests, our special staff, you are very special to us. So we have a special treat for you outside. And then the 30 people whose names were written, please stay back. Those are the 30 winners for coming early. And then our external guests and customers, please wait behind. Mensom, are you external guests? Okay. So you're all welcome. Thank you very much once again for coming. And then some of our customers, we're going to reach out to you for some interviews. Wait behind customers. Somebody's coming to talk to you. So thank you once again. So if... should we do one with Anans? Quickly.
Excellence doesn't happen overnight. We have over 70 years of banking expertise and experience across Africa and the world. At 21st Century Innovation, And now there is no limit. At the United Bank for Africa, we are committed to delivering the best for you. We create financial solutions that power your dreams to ensure that your needs, however small or however great, are always met. We have deep roots in Africa. Across our continent, we drive financial inclusion, trade, and entrepreneurship, helping all our clients realize their ambitions. We operate in the United Kingdom and in France. We are the only African bank with a national banking license in the USA. In leading financial centers, we provide services and solutions to banks, corporates, sovereigns, and development organizations. We understand the importance of the Gulf as a hub for global trade, and we are expanding our business there.
Hey Leo, split the bill into 4 please.
UBA is a digital pioneer built on our cutting-edge technological infrastructure that guarantees not just to take Africa's talent and perspective to the world, but to bring the entire world back home. Because the one thing you can trust is we will always be there for you. UBA, Africa's global bank.
I came to Lagos about 39 years ago. Our parents were not rich. We want to succeed because we know we have nothing.
And I find myself in a very, very, very different environment from where I was coming from. More sophisticated, capital intensive in terms of starting a business.
So we are genuine and sincere and hardworking.
So I started very, very little. I'm wearing one of my labels, and the name of this one is Ewa, I My Wolf.
If you are up, lift your community. If you are higher, lift your local government, lift your state, and lift Nigeria.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Life is about steps. You know that cycle? We all do. From the first steps to the building steps to the defining steps. But what about the steps within the steps? The steps that lead to purpose. The baby steps to growth. The steps that ensure financial independence. The steps that give us assurance. All the steps within the steps are possible with the UBA Kiddies, Teens, and Next Gen account.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving? Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Excellence doesn't happen overnight. We have over 70 years of banking expertise and experience across Africa and the world. Add 21st century innovation, and now there is no limit. At the United Bank for Africa, we are committed to delivering the best for you. We create financial solutions that power your dreams to ensure that your needs, however small, or however great, are always met. We have deep roots in Africa. Across our continent, we drive financial inclusion, trade, and entrepreneurship, helping all our clients realize their ambitions. operate in the United Kingdom and in France. We are the only African bank with a national banking license in the USA. In leading financial centers, we provide services and solutions to banks, corporates, sovereigns, and development organizations. We understand the importance of the Gulf as a hub for global trade, and we are expanding our business there.
Hey Leo, split the bill into 4, please.
UBA is a digital pioneer built on our cutting-edge technological infrastructure that guarantees not just to take Africa's talents and perspective to the world, but to bring the entire world back home. Because the one thing you can trust is we will always be there for you. UBA.